one day in time you weren't in existence, and the next moment you were, right? That moment brought you into existence, and ever since there's an inner game going on. And everything that's developed from that moment of conception to now is full of outside influence, approval, disapproval. Now all the feelings of the mother while you were in the womb are part of your inner game. From the moment of conception. How was that moment of conception? Have you ever asked your parents? I have. I know where my conception happened. I know why I am the way I am. I know why I have certain feelings at certain times. But it took a lot of time by myself to even come up with that thinking. Right? And one day when my father had a heart operation, and I talked to him the day before this big heart operation, and I said, just in case you're not waking up, is there anything you want to tell me? I'm your only son. And there was silence on the phone. And 3 months later I got a letter from him, and he said, I've been thinking about your question ever since, and I have no answer. I've never had time to think like that. He had nothing to say. Nothing meaningful to his only son in the moment where he could have died. And that's really sad. But they grew up in the war, they were hungry, they built a life. I came in and I had a great life. I was never hungry, I never had a war. I had the freedom and the time to find out who I am. And I know that most people I talk to haven't had that time. No? I went bush for 2 years. I mean, some people think they can go bush. They can go bush while they got tin food in their backpack and some ammunition maybe, and But stay in there, park up on a plateau in the middle of nowhere and stay there for 10 years and live actually outside the whole system, not this system Swanee was talking about, but the monetary system. I haven't met anybody who's done that by choice and felt free doing it, and felt rich and wealthy doing it. Right? So that's the place I'm coming from. So when I'm taking you inside, I can only ever take myself inside. I can't take you in. I can't use the right pictures. I can't use the right words for you. Right? I'm using words that are my words. I'm using pictures and descriptions that are my journey, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea to play the inner game. So I'm not offended at all if you can't relate to it. I'm not offended if you don't want to do it. I'm going to offer what the best description I know, and this is just words and this is used out there. It's called a guided meditation, right? It's not really what I'm doing. I'm going in and I'm inviting you to go in as well. Right? But I definitely don't want to offend anybody with words that I might use. Right? I don't want you to think that your inner picture has to look like mine when I call it an inner flame and you go, well, I haven't got a flame inside. Right? So don't get stuck on any of my terminology. Right? If some word doesn't fit, see if you can find one that's actually true for you in that moment, because it's an inner journey. And the reason for taking you on this inner journey right now is to find out, and it's all in context, it's within what we're doing here. There is blockages that stop you from having the life you are wanting, right? Now, if you have the life you really, really want already right now, great. If you can think of a better life that you would rather be living and you're not living it right now, it's not to do with anything outside of you. Everything outside changes the moment I change. The way I look at it, if somebody says something to me, it's never what they say. Nobody can offend me. right? It's what do I make of it? And the more I have a resistance or a reaction, that's the place I have to work, right? So it's do the hard thing, because that's where you grow. In my generation, a lot of people will say, I'm just cruising, I'm just going with the flow. Truth is, the flow in this gravity field is usually downhill. Nobody's just cruising and flowing up in life, right? Maybe for a moment, and maybe on certain substances, but not in a continuous flow up, you know? So up isn't easy, up is against gravity. Right? It takes a lot of energy for a rocket to get out of this gravity field. Then it takes hardly any energy. And that's where freedom is. Freedom is on the inner game, freedom is outside that gravity field. Now to me, the universe is out there where we point when we think of universe, but it's also in there. There's a whole universe in every cell of our body, and we got about 80 trillion of them. So we are a community of cells, we are a community of universes. When I grew up, there was only one universe. Now we scientifically know that there's billions of them. Isn't it great to know that? Because there's billions of them inside of me. That's how big I am. And there's only one I in the universe, and it's in that body listening to these words. When I say I, it's not about me. Even though when I say I, it is about me, but I want you to think I inside your body, not I, Manfred, out here. Okay? So I'm going to do the exercise that many of you have done, some of you have done many times, but I can guarantee you every time it's different, because I don't do it the same every time. And if you can go on the journey, I know every time we go in, there's a different landscape. It's like going into a different country, right? It's not going to be the same journey. And I'll just use my way of going in, and if you can follow that, great. If not, if you have your own way of going in, do your own way of going in. If my voice is annoying, just don't listen to it. Listen to your own voice. Right? So I'm just doing every disclaimer I can that you're not blaming me for the result you're getting out of this exercise. And if it's really uncomfortable, you can even leave the room. You don't have to be here for this. It's all voluntary. Like our whole journey here is together voluntary. Right? So what's really important is posture. Like if you're sitting back in a comfortable armchair and you go in, you'll probably be asleep very quickly. It's best to sit on the front of the chair, not leaning back, and sitting as upright as you can. You also will, for this exercise, need a piece of paper on the table and the pen handy so you can write some things down. Now, once I've taken you inside and the eyes are closed, for me, it's like as soon as I open my eyes, all my focused energy goes out and the mind goes on. It's like the lights go on in the room, you know, when you've been in the dark and the lights go on in the room. So I want you to practice that you only need one eye slightly open to see where the pen and the paper is, and just write a few things down. This is just so that afterwards you got some measurable result of that journey in, and you can continue on that piece of paper for the next few days, few weeks, you know. But just get really clear on what is it that you really want. And we've done the exercise on the first day. Was it only yesterday? Wow. Some time ago, we asked you, why do you want to do this? And you had an answer. And then the person said, but so when you have that, what will that give you? Right? And in my experience, having done that with lots and lots of people, is that often it's about other people. Like for mothers, it's usually the kids. Sometimes it's the husband. But it's like for the partner, even for the dog, we do better things than we do for ourselves, right? And this time on this exercise, it's about me. Now there's only one I in the universe, there's also only one me. Everybody else is a you. Right? So this is about me. So sit not too comfortable, like I'd say not the legs crossed, just if you can sit on the front of the chair, and rather than shutting the eyes quickly, which means the attention is still outside, let's practice that. And it's a really good practice if you want to practice that, is how slowly can you shut your eyes? Like they can actually shut from the outside in and the bottom eyelid coming up while the top eyelid comes down. It's amazing how much you can practice and how slowly you can shut your eyes. But at the same time, I want you to take your attention in. So to do that really well, I take the attention out as far as possible. So like I look straight forward, looking through the wall into the horizon. Right? So I look as far away as possible. And then slowly I draw that vision towards my eyes, and as I'm slowly shutting the eyes, it's like there's a vacuum, a light vacuum in the center of my head, pulling that last bit of light into the center of my head. And now I'm giving you a picture that I hope most of you have seen. There's some hotels that have those elevators that are made of glass and they're on the outside, and you see the people go up and down and can be really high. I want you to think of a glass cylinder elevator inside your body. So as you're going to the center of your head, there's the elevator. So you're just going into that glass elevator and the door shuts, and now you are in the center of your head. And as the door shuts, there seems to be some light. Usually it's dark inside the body, but there's really light there. And as you can just look around, there's the whole brain above and around you, and all the glands and everything that's inside the head is slowly adjusting to that new light. So you're seeing your head, the light is radiating out, and it's even radiating out through the head. The light's actually bigger than the head. And as you realize that light, as you're aware of it, it gets brighter. So you actually do have a bright light inside. It's different from any light outside. And that light is very loving, very calm, very warm, and very relaxing. So as you focus on this light that penetrates through the whole head and out from the head, every brain cell, every cell in the head, everything in the head is just starting to relax. And as you're relaxing into that state, the elevator is starting to slowly descend down, very slowly. And the light is centered, coming from you in the elevator. So as it goes down, and you're going down towards the throat, the light, the center of that radiating, warm, loving light is with you in the elevator. So it's now in the throat. And as it descends down from the throat into the upper torso, the shoulders start to relax. And that light's running down from the shoulders all the way down your arms, and filling the arms all the way down to the hands and the fingertips. And if you move your fingertips a little to make sure that all the fingers are relaxed, you can feel that warm, relaxing, loving light all the way down to the fingertips. It's actually a lot of energy down there in the fingertips. And we're coming back to the center of the light being in you in the elevator, now descending down to the heart. And as we get to the center of the upper chest, where the heart area is, the elevator slowly stops and gives you more time to shine that light out and shine light on the heart, the lungs, all these ribs, everything that happens in your upper torso is starting to warm up from that beautiful light and start relaxing deeply. And you can feel that love that's in that heart. The heart is all there is there. You're in the heart space. And the light is radiating out way beyond the body. And now you're consciously pulling that light from way out there back into the elevator. And the elevator starts slowly moving again, and it's descending down further. And as it goes through the stomach area and the whole abdomen area and the lower back area, that warm light is relaxing. Every muscle, every cell is relaxing. And the elevator slowly going down past the tummy button. Tummy button is the connection to the mother. We all started from there, and we're still there connected to mother. And the elevator is going just a bit below that tummy button, the navel, and it stops there. And now the light is starting to radiate out from there. And because this is the center of our being, the light is even brighter, it's even warmer, and it's filling the whole body from there. So all the way down the legs, the toes, wiggle the toes a little bit to make sure there's no blockage there. The whole body is filled with that warm light now. It's pure love. It's who I am. That light is shining out bright. And then we pull the light back into the elevator towards the center of my body, the me inside the elevator that is inside my body, in the center just below my tummy button and inside. And just for now I call that center of my being the inner flame. And it's very similar to the flame of a candle. If you had one candle in the dark, and that is where it's placed, just below the tummy button. And as I focus on it, as I give it attention, it gets brighter and it grows. And that is my life force. And as you focus on that inner flame in the center of your body, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being it's gone out, you wouldn't be sitting here if it's gone out, so you're definitely above 1. And 10 is it's so bright I can hardly handle the brightness, it's actually too strong. But somewhere between 2 and 9, what's your number right now without any judgment? How bright is your inner flame right now? And if you want to remember that number later, you can just open that one eyelid that little bit and just write down a number on a piece of paper. You'll know what it was about. And while you're at writing, put your focus on what is it that you really want. And not a long story, just a simple state of being, or it could even be a number of money. From the state of being to money, it's all the same, it's all energy, it's just a measurement. What do you want? What do you need right now in your life to improve? And stay with the focus and the attention down there in your body. Don't open the eyes and come all out to the paper and to the room, but stay in there. And breathe into the belly. It's like breathing onto the embers of a fire. It makes it stronger, makes it hotter, so it makes this flame brighter and makes more light. Now give yourself permission to see any choices that you make that diminish that flame. What choices do you make in your life that take you away from this state and therefore diminish that flame inside? What choices have you made in the last 24 hours that diminished that beautiful state that you're in now? That flame inside that's quite bright, very loving, very warm. What choices have you made in the last week that diminished that flame? What choices have you made in the last month that diminished your flame? What choices have you made in the last year that diminished your flame? And what choices have you made over many, many years of your life that diminished your flame? And stay with the flame inside. Breathe there deep into your belly. And slow and gentle. Your whole life is connected. It's all here now. What thoughts do you think that diminish your flame? And what words do you use? What do you tell yourself and others? What words do you use that diminish that flame inside? And what beliefs do you hold that no longer serve you, but you hold on to the belief and yet you know it diminishes your flame? So what thoughts, what words, what beliefs diminish your being, that flame, that bright light, that unconditional love that is there? And whatever comes up, open that one eyelid that little bit and write down a few, and you can always continue on that tonight before you go to bed. You can easily get back into that state And keep working on those words that you use. The more you are aware of it, the more you notice when you use those, when you have those thoughts and you use those words and those beliefs come up that lead to not so good emotions like fear, anxiety. And they're all coming from the past. You carry them here by choice, and you can choose to let them go because they no longer serve you in your life right now, and they won't get you to where you want to be in life. That's what's holding you back. There's an underlying commitment that is keeping you from changing your life. It's keeping you from reaching those goals that you set yourself. So what commitment is keeping you stuck in the past and stops you from change and stops you from reaching your goals? And breathe into that. Let it go down to that flame, and if you choose so, let the flame just burn it out. The belief is likely in the mind, in the head area, and if you let it sink down when you're ready for that and just let it drop onto that flame, it will just lovingly disappear it. What is it that you really want? Because there's something else that you're more committed to than what you think you really want. And you have to let go of that in order to get what you really want. What are you more committed to? And don't worry if you don't get it right now. It will come up. And moving forward from here, what commitment could you make right now to yourself that will inspire you and will support you in the process of change? What new commitment will help you make your fire roar, make that flame so strong that nothing can blow it out? And if you have a new commitment, say it to yourself 7 or more times so that your subconscious will take notice. Once isn't enough, twice isn't enough. Keep repeating your new commitment to yourself. You don't have to count, but make sure it's 7 or more times. Like telling that inner child a new commitment so that it will actually hear it and let you do it. Now, what choices could you make to help you support your new commitment? that would help you make that flame so strong that nothing can blow it out? What new choices to support that commitment can you make? If anything comes up, again, write it down on your paper. New choice. You choose to support your new commitment by whatever comes up for you. And what actions will you do? What actions can you commit to yourself to doing to support those new choices and that new commitment? Any action. What can you actually do on a regular basis that will lead you to a different life? Or just a different situation, different outcome. And write down some action steps that will help you move in that new direction. When you're ready, go back inside. All the attention is inside, below your tummy button. You're sitting with this flame. You are the flame. Pure love, pure life force. And what could you say to yourself right now? What sweet, loving words could you say internally to yourself right now that would strengthen that flame? A bit like what you would say to a baby, because that baby is still in there. It's in that flame. It is part of who I am being. And without leaving that state and leaving that space, just to come back to the outer reality as well, you can keep your eyes closed and just start rubbing your hands together to get in touch with the atmosphere in the room and come back out into the outer game. And as you're rubbing your hands together, the energy around you starts waking up and changing. And then just rub it into your face, like washing your face with this beautiful energy you've just created or become more conscious and more aware of. And through the whole head, because the head needs to know that that beautiful energy is in there in the body. And then coming slowly back out. You can open the eyes just as slowly as you close them. It's really nice to come slowly back out. So now, don't let anything else be more important than that. This is the real life, the real journey. And there's a lot of outside influences that will always keep us exactly where we are, because our whole life is set up, connected to all the circumstances that created the life that we right now have. And once I know I want to go there, all I have to do is I have to face there. Right? I have to choose, I'm now going this way. And all the people who say this is dangerous, it's really unsafe, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, they're all over here. They'd rather you move more their way than away. Now, this is the inner game. It's nothing to do with people in your life, but everything that's created that life you now have, just have a look at how much of that was your conscious choice and how much just happened. And the conditioned mind runs 24/7 a program. It's like a tape recorder with a loop. And until you overcome that guiding noise that guides you that what you have now is all you can be and all you can have, I wouldn't even say record a new loop, because it's still going to be a loop. Right? And while the circumstances change, life doesn't change all that much. Have you noticed when people change partner and the next partner is just the same problem? Changing partner doesn't help. Changing location doesn't help. I ended up on the other side of the world all by myself, and the story in my head was the same. While I was where I grew up, I blamed other people for that story. And it took me 2 years to realize that it was me. 2 years of emptying out, from pointing the finger of somebody else is to blame for my misery, to taking full responsibility. I'm creating my story in my head, and it's only a story, and I can change it. Now, a child hasn't got much choice or options. You know, I grew up with family that was different from me. I was fighting them. It was all rebellion. But breaking out and breaking free wasn't freedom. No? So the journey to be more free is the journey to be more consciously choosing what I want to do every moment of my life. And it has nothing to do with the past. What I chose yesterday that wasn't good, I have to forgive. I have to forgive myself. If I still in blame mode and blame somebody else, I have to forgive them. But once I get out of blame mode, then anything that happens that's not so good, I have to forgive myself. I've created it. I will not create it tomorrow. How can I make sure? By looking at the current reality. Right? That's what most people miss with creative visualization and those new agey things, those ideas that we developed in the 60s and 70s. Well, look at those people. How far did it get them? To visualize all this beautiful stuff, but not really changing? Then it's just another bubble out here, a dream outside that doesn't manifest. The way it manifests is when I take full responsibility for actually facing that way and actually walking that way, and only I determine the speed. And in my experience, it's all about forgiveness. Forgiveness means giving it all away, letting it go, not holding on to it. Any past I hold on to is still with me. It's like having a full hard drive. What do you do on your computer? The hard drive's full, but you want to hang on to everything? Well, you got no more space in your computer. Computers are great examples for how our brain and our consciousness and all this works together. So you got to delete those old files, and if you let them all go, you got heaps of potential. So that's probably the best I can share with you today, and next time will be different. Thank you.